Hello, and welcome to the, I don't know how many episodes this is, actually, of the Common Writer Spirit podcast.
Isn't it like 4, 5, maybe more? Six?
I'm
Four,
pretty
five,
sure
six,
it's
seven, eight,
6.
9, 10.
I'm pretty sure it's 6. I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
let's roll with that. So
Yeah.
episode 6.
I want to say sorry again for the long wait and everything that we've been going on for a while now. But we're going to try and fix this with a multitude of ideas that will hopefully fix that whole problem.
Yeah.
But today we're going to be talking about not 1, not 2, but 3 episodes of Kamen Rider Wizard. And, that's it, actually. We're going to save talking about news and whatnot for, the next episode, which will be out on Thursday, where this will be out, like, Sunday, tonight, like right now.
Yeah.
So, the first episode that we're going to be talking about is episode 21. Last we left off, Haruto was going to do this last-ditch effort attack to, try and take care of Beelzebub and everything. Turns out he was just going to pull out, Flame Dragon and try and do, this chest special beam cannon thing. Turns out that it didn't really work because Beelzebub just used a portal to have it backfire on him, literally. That didn't really work out for him. Fortunately, though, White Wizard was right around the corner and saved Haruto, sending him to some crazy Shadow Realm dimension-looking thing. That's all fine and everything, but Rinko was still hanging out with her new friend, the Phoenix Phantom, who, at the time, she didn't know was the Phoenix Phantom. And he was being surprisingly helpful, giving the name of Beelzebub in the first place, and all of the info on how he was controlling people in the first place. Haruto, on the other hand, still in the Shadow Realm, started doing some special spirit training stuff to make his new fancy watch, the Dragon Timer, or Drago Timer, whatever. So he can do cool shit with that, and then he does this cool shit later on. Rinko and the others go on a hunt for the mind control-y, dealy things that, like Beelzebub had sent out for everybody, and shenanigans happen. Haruto tries out his new Drago Timer, and Phoenix and Rinko have a moment after everything, where Phoenix just decides to fuck everything. And that's pretty much the episode. What did you think about this episode as a whole, I guess?
I thought it was, wasn't this, like, episode technically kind of like a 3-parter? In a sense, because the first one was Beelzebub, and the second one was the finishing of Beelzebub, and then the third part, but then it had to do with Phoenix too, and then the third part was the end of Phoenix, right?
Well, it would be 4 parts.
We'll talk a lot later, but
it would be 4 parts, because it would be episode 20, 21, 22, and 23 would be the whole kind of connecting arc that happened in the past few episodes. So it's kind of a 4-parter, which doesn't really happen in Kamen Rider all that often.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting, because this is definitely, like, it kept, like, when it was over, it wasn't like, it wasn't, because, in arcs, you're finished, and obviously the storyline is still going, but, like, that arc is finished, but this arc kept going and going, so, and you noticed it on this one, like, it's not just, like, 1, 2, it's like, oh, it's still going. So that was one of the things that, I saw, and, I thought it was pretty interesting. Beelzebub was a cool phantom, and I thought the timer thing was really, like, I feel like they are giving Wizard a lot of different things, and it's like, but it's like, it's hard to even explain. It feels like they're tacking all this on for toys.
Maybe just a little bit, but I don't think that it's like that much of a bad thing, I guess. I feel like when it comes to all his upgrades and whatnot, it's all new stuff, but it doesn't really feel like it's making him overpowered, really. Just giving him a whole lot more stuff for his arsenal and whatnot.
I guess. I don't know, like, for me, it feels like it's a little bit, like, just, I don't know, it just feels like so random, like, all of a sudden he gets, like, something new and something new and something new, and, like, that's not bad, but it seems like everything he gets new is like, just stronger in general, whereas in, like, Forza, like, there's, like, 40 switches or something, right, which is fine, and that made sense, because, like, Forza, his whole gimmick was, like, different, like, all these different switches and stuff, like, and obviously you're gonna, like, find out throughout the series, like, all the different, like, gimmicky, funny switches and stuff like that, and then obviously he had, his final form, and that made sense, but with Wizard, it's like, okay, like, that makes sense, he has, like, his 4, elemental forms, and then he has upgrades of those elemental forms, which is fine, but then, like, all of a sudden this timer thing, it just feels really random to me. Like, I understand he gets, like, well, we're not there yet, but his infinite form that leaked, and that looks cool, and that makes sense, but, like, I don't know, this timer thing to me just feels kind of, like random,
I think it's only because it kind of doesn't fit with, like, the formula that most Kamen Rider go by. Like, you have the upgrades, you have your normal forms, you have the kind of mid-season upgrade. Then you have the mid-season upgrade, which is the ultimate form and everything. And that's kind of how most Rider shows go. You have like a starting forms, a medium upgrade, and then a like ultimate form. But this is like you have the regular forms, a medium upgrade, a upgrade to the medium upgrade, which like has the 4 forms all together, and then you have the ultimate form, and it happens so soon after the 4 like medium upgrades had come out that it does feel a little bit rushed, I guess. I think that's another part of it.
I just think that they could have executed this one a little bit better. I mean, like, with the dragon forms, it made sense. Because, like, his phantom inside is a dragon. Yeah. And then it's cool they gave him, like, and then, like, the elemental forms are obviously, like, not dragon forms, they're just elements, But then, like, they incorporated the dragon into that, which is fine, giving him an extra 4 forms. But then this one seems, like, a little bit random to me. Like, it's, like, a timer. I don't know. It just feels a little bit random to me.
It doesn't really fit the theme, I guess.
It just doesn't to me. To me, it feels just a little out of place. But it's fine. Like, I'm not gonna say, like, a Wizard's a shit show because, like, something's out of place. I mean, it's gonna have its faults and stuff, and I just feel like that one of its faults is this middle form timer thing is a little bit out of place in my opinion. Not that I'm saying it's not cool or anything. I don't know. It just feels a little out of place, and then all of a sudden, like, he can use all 4 forms, which is fine, but, like, you can use the thing, well, he has different elements and stuff, and it's just like, well, some of the different writers had, like, multiple forms too, and they didn't have, like, a thing where they could use it all together, I think, so, I don't know. It just felt, to me, it just was a little out of place, and that's it. But other than that, this episode was really interesting, and I liked the idea of the Beelzebub Phantom, and he had little leech controller things, and then I thought it made total sense to me when he was like, well, you killed the things, but you didn't, like, completely, like, end it because, like, I put my mana in them, to control them. And that was, like, an interesting twist, and I was like, okay, you know what, that makes sense, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I'm sure that, like, he had noticed that his little puppet things had started to die out, so he just kind of made it seem like everyone was turning back to normal, like, digitally and everything, just to trick them. Because a big thing is that, like, his whole thing was that he was a like, music conductor and everything.
Yeah.
So it kind of went really well with his whole theme of controlling things and letting things go to a simmer down and then like having it roar back up into being everyone's control again. You're all fucked. So
yeah, I liked how they brought in that like false sense of security, and you notice that this Phantom is pretty smart. Like he has he has like a backup plan and a backup plan.
This Phantom was mad smart. If it wasn't for the Dragatimer, he would have kind of beaten Wizard and probably Beast all on his own.
Speaking of which, is this... I can't remember. Was this the episode where the Gremlin Phantom kind of like... You see a little bit more of him and he's talking to Medusa and you notice that he like uses the Phantom... He calls the Phantoms by their first names? You notice that? I think this is the episode where it starts off with the Sora's like, hey, Medusa.
No, I think that's episode 22. Where, like, well, we'll get to that when we get to it.
Because I thought in that... No, it doesn't make sense, because I thought in that ep already...
I don't think he actually even showed up in this episode.
No, he totally did, because I remember that. I think this was the episode where he was talking to Medusa. No, I think it was because he tells her, like... he calls her by her, like her human name, like Misa or something like that, and then he hints to her that Phoenix is going crazy.
No, that was definitely 22, because...
Are you sure?
He didn't even show up in this episode. He showed up in 22, and it was like, he was the one who gave Phoenix the idea of doing the kidnapping, which we will get to, by the way.
No, he totally did, because before the episode, and doesn't he give her the wallet? Like, maybe you're right, that was 22. I can't.
It was definitely 22.
You know what the problem with these is? It's 4-part, and then they all blend together for me, and I'm just like, which one was that?
It was definitely 22, because I watched earlier, and just to refresh myself, and it was definitely 22.
Okay, yeah. So.
But, he didn't show up in this episode, but we'll get to his whole shenanigans in the next 2 episodes, because he definitely has a whole lot of them. Something I felt was pretty interesting, getting back on the topic of episode 21.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. But, White Wizard's belt. That was kind of a really interesting thing to me, because before we had been talking about how, like, he didn't seem that trustworthy and everything, which he still doesn't, but this kind of cemented the fact to me, because his belt is, not nearly as polite as, Wizard's, in that, like, his belt basically demands that the magic happens. Like, the magic just comes out. Like, Wizard's belt asks for the magic to please do its magic-y stuff, where White Wizard's belt says the magic name and then commands now, as in, like, do this now. And when apparently this was kind of leaked a little while ago, I think. Apparently when he does his signature kick strike, his belt says, yes, kick strike, understand? And it's
I did not notice that it was like that. That's interesting. Go on, sorry.
There's not just that, but there's also a whole thing where apparently if you use his belt and the flame wizard ring, it does a different magic where it says volcano now, I was about to say please, but that wouldn't be right because we just
Yeah.
talked about how not right that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Point is, he makes the flame ring do volcano magic, which leads a lot of people, including myself, to believe that his if he were to use the wizard rings, the magic that would happen would be based off of those elemental things, but as natural disasters and whatnot. So, people are thinking that water would be like tsunami and hurricane, which is already kind of a disaster, would be maybe tornado.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
Ground.
land would be earthquake. Yeah. That's kind of what people think is going on with the whole thing. We don't know if he would be able to do anything with the dragon ones, but I kind of doubt it. But we'll have to see. They'll probably do something with that in the show at some point. But yeah, his belt is kind of further cementing the idea that he is super not trustworthy and kind of evil, just a little bit.
Yeah, because remember I talked about, like, this guy is probably, like, planning this or something, or I don't know, that's my guess. I could be wrong, and then it's gonna be like, oh, never mind, he was good all along, but we'll see.
He definitely comes off really suspicious. If nothing else, he's really shady.
It's either he's really suspicious or just really mysterious. You know.
Well, both of those things, but
yeah. Okay, so he's shady, mysterious.
one kind of goes with the other.
Yeah, that's true. What was I gonna say? What you were talking about with the White Wizard, I actually think that's pretty interesting. I wasn't paying attention because I thought the belt said the same thing, but I didn't pay attention that it totally said something different. I think I was just like kind of like mesmerized by like, oh wow, the White Wizard's right there. But yeah, okay, so we had this theory that the White Wizard was a bad guy or something.
Yep.
And I still go rolling with that because like it's weird because like maybe it's because Haruto is still not like a Haruto maybe not like a full-fledged wizard, you know, and he's still kind of a novice and he's not like, you know, pro or anything. And so the belt is only saying please to him or something, you know? Like, well, you know how his belt says please, and then but the other one sounds like it's like commanded, like, or something. Didn't you say it said something like it sounded like it's getting commanded or something? I don't know.
Well, no, it's like he's the belt is like commanding the magic to happen, like it's saying now and do this, you understand. It's all sorts of stuff like that. So
okay, but still that solidifies the idea because notice the different tones of like when when you're talking to people, it's like, hey, can you please do something, to more demanding like now, you know? So,
yeah.
When you're like, you know how like when you have like a superior and something, you have to be like please, but then like when you're on the level, you can be like now, you know?
Yeah.
So that is definitely like a little thing that's interesting. So maybe it shows that his belt is more like, I don't know, he's the main big boss, so his belt is like, you know, like now and stuff like that, or Haruto's like please, or it could just mean that, you know, Haruto's still a novice and his belt is like, you know, on the please level, on the lower, like he has to ask for the magic instead of, you know, like he can just command it, you know. So
that's also a pretty interesting theory.
Yeah.
So, I think that could also be a thing.
Yeah, definitely. Did we cover this episode, or are we missing things?
There's still a few more things to talk about.
The timer.
Yeah, the Draco timer. The
Draco timer, yes. So, I think I might have like, because I was like watching it, but at the same time I was doing something. So because it's called the timer, and he gets split into four, right? When the
Yes.
timer goes off, does he split back together? Is that how it works?
No. Basically, it
No?
it gets
like,
to
why is it called the timer? Yeah.
because like over like certain intervals, you're able to like summon another another, I wouldn't say clone, but another version of another split of the dragon. You're basically using up all of the dragon's mana at the same time. That's what the Dragon Timer is supposed to be doing. So, like, it's split up into four sides. The first one is red. The next one is I'm pretty sure it's blue for ocean and everything. Well, water, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you slap it, and it'll... You slap the little thumb on the hand symbol that's there, and it'll summon out another Haruto to help in the fight and everything. And you keep on doing that through all of the colors until it gets to the end, which is final time. And what all that is really all the wizards out at the same time. And I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to guess, but that will use up a whole lot of mana at a time, so he can't use it for a very long amount of time, but we don't know that yet. But point is, when you're... and this is kind of... I'll just kind of spoil this, whatever. When you're in the like, final time, special time, whatever. When you're in that kind of state, he can slap it one more time and like put it over his belt, and it will make a special sound and everything. He'll use it basically as a giant ring, and it'll make him go into all dragon form, which will just bring all of the forms together to make, well, all dragon form.
All dragon form.
And that's basically all Final Time does.
Okay, so
he can turn it off whenever he wants, and I'm going to guess again that it has a limited amount of time that you can use it, because it does eat up his mana, but we don't know that yet. But yeah, that's pretty much all Final Time does.
I thought, since it was like a timer and stuff like that, like I thought it was gonna be like you can use all four of his forms in a limited amount of time.
That
because like it seems pretty like because like that seems pretty OP. Like he uses like all four forms at the same time, where there's four Harutos. Because Haruto's pretty, he's pretty tough. So 4 Harutos is
he is pretty tough in that form and everything, especially with all four of him out at the same time. But as we find out in the
next episode,
next 2 episodes rather,
that
even then, even with all 4 of him, he's not completely a match for just about anyone. Well, everyone, I should say. He is a match against some people, but not against everyone. We will see about it then, though. But basically, yeah, all the Dragon Timer does is make 4 copies of Haruto who can all fight independently, so it makes it basically like a straight upgrade to the copy ring.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, it's one thing with the copy ring, and I think somebody brought this up at some point. Like, somebody said that maybe like, what was really the point of the Dragon Timer, because he could just use the copy ring and everything. But I don't think that's really the case. I don't think that he could do it that way, because what I'm thinking is that when you use the copy ring, he has to control all of the copies
at the same time.
At the same time with his own like intellect and brain and everything. Where in the Dragotimer state and everything, each clone is independent and has their own mind and everything. So he only has to control himself, not a huge group of himself doing all different things.
Yeah, that makes sense because I think every time we seen him use the copy ring, which I don't think it was much, maybe a couple times, I can't remember. They were all doing the exact same thing, I think, because I just remember it doing like they were all doing it like, you know, the same. It's like I don't know.
They all do about the same thing a lot of the time, but there has been, I think there's like one time that he used it and they were all doing different things, but I think it was more like just kind of slashing around and stuff to a group of mooks and whatnot.
Do you think that the copy ring is like the other copies are weaker versions of himself while the timer is like equivalents of himself?
I think that's like probably how it works.
Yeah.
Maybe like when he uses the copy ring, it
the
gets
clones
split.
are weaker.
Yeah, or like himself and gets weaker as well, and like the power gets kind of distributed and whatnot.
Yeah.
Where the Dragotimer, it's kind of just the same amount of mana for everyone, and it's all kind of independent.
Yeah, that makes sense. Plus, in the copy ring, he's stuck in his base form, not his like more powerful form, and the other one was his dragon forms and stuff like that.
Very true.
So,
I think
that might be. So maybe he can't use the copy ring. Has he used the copy ring on any of his dragon forms?
he's only used it to copy his weapon so far. I'm thinking one way that he could possibly make the Dragotimer even more overpowered is like he does it and has all 4 copies out, and then all 4 of them
All
use.
4 copies use the copy ring.
Yeah, that would be the most overpowered shit that ever happened.
You know what? Let's just kind of copy 4 of these, and then we're gonna use all our copy rings, and then we're just gonna go out.
Got to carry bod ain't got shit on this.
Oh yeah. You know, fun fact is they didn't use Gata Kiriba a lot. Well, yeah, Gata Kiriba because supposedly, my friend told me, I don't know if it's true or not, supposedly it was really expensive to have Gata Kiriba out because the clone part was like really expensive for them to use.
Oh yeah, it was super expensive. I think that's one of the reasons why they don't really do large-scale copy ring stuff.
Yeah.
So, like,
It's been pretty simple for copy. And then, like, the timer one was, like, I'm pretty sure, like, 3 different suit actors.
yeah,
So, yeah.
it was definitely something like that.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool. It's pretty cool that they didn't just kind of CGI them into the, well, not CGI, but, like, basically copy-paste their whole stunts and everything into the scene. It felt a whole lot more organic that way, I guess.
Yeah, wait, so, are you talking about the copy ring or the,
I mean, I think they also do that with the copy ring now and then, but
because, like, the
I mean,
copy
like,
ring, I'm
the,
pretty sure, like, CGI or something, like, trickery. But,
I mean the, Dragotimer stuff, though.
Oh, Dragotimer?
That was
isn't that
definitely, like multiple suit actors.
Yeah, I assume those are like 4 different suit actors because, like, if you can get different suit actors for like Ryuki or Blade, I'm pretty sure you can find 4 for Wizard.
Yeah. But the only other thing about this episode that was really important, I find, well, there's 2 more, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Was, first of all, the really silly shenanigans that happened with Shunpei, Nito, and Rinko
Oh.
while they were trying to find all those really weird bug things that Beelzebub had sent out. They basically just kind of went to all the places where everyone is being mind controlled and stripped them down and like got the bugs out and stabbed them to death or crushed them or whatever.
That was definitely insane.
Like Rinko was doing all of the like stripping and whatnot, and Nito was just so excited about the whole thing. It was like just watching being like one of the things that he kept on saying was so aggressive. It's just, I guess he likes dominant women. So
Oh, shipped. Look at this shipping thing coming on here. This episode, well, this one, this part, I guess, I think it showed more of like Rinko being more useful, like her usefulness, you know?
yeah.
Because like, I don't think they would have found out. I mean, and I mean, it was a little bit like, you know, like not helping because obviously like the Beelzebub, you know, had a trick up his sleeve, but it was temporarily, and I think it did help the situation a little bit more because like it kind of showed at the same time, like you know, hey, look, they are being possessed. Like that's not actually them. Do you see these like little leech things? And then I think it made like the gate like understand. Like when they were hunting them down, like, oh yeah, like, oh, it's not really them, like they're gonna be fine, you know?
Yeah.
It was like a sense of like security, so which is why I think it helped her not become like a gate, you know?
Well,
and
she
didn't have
already
to,
was, but she didn't like
well, I mean, you know,
fall into
like,
despair.
Despair. That's what I mean. But so it showed like more like Rinko being useful and helpful because without her like investigation and then talking to, well, I guess Phoenix went crazy, but still like, you know, it helped, I think. So it showed more of her helpful side, and then like I'm not going to talk about this now because it's on this episode, but I liked the you get to know like about how Rinko feels in the next episode, which I'm not going to say or spoil at the moment, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Well,
In the hospital, she's like telling Haruto.
well, actually, that's the 23rd episode.
Yeah, 23rd. Okay, well, it's one of the future episodes we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get what I mean. But for now, she was just useful for a little bit, so that was nice.
But
Has Shunpei done anything significant yet?
he does something in he does something in the episode that we're gonna talk about on Thursday. So, you know, stay tuned for him being useful. Yay.
Yeah. At least he might be more useful than Yuki and Forze, because I still don't think she was really. But I'm not gonna get into that right now.
But one last thing. At the end of this episode, Rinko and Phoenix have kind of a moment. And at the time, I thought that it was going to be really sweet and everything. Basically...
This is Kamen Rider. They're gonna shit on your feelings. Actually, you know what? It is okay to think that, because, like...
It could have been like an Ankh situation. Just a little bit of an Ankh situation, where, like, he was meant to be, like, a super bad guy and everything, but he could have just been, like, a slightly angry bird. That's all it really could have been.
Angry bird. I thought it was gonna happen. People were talking about, or I was, like, looking at my dash on Tumblr and someone was talking about it, and they thought it was gonna be, like, a Nazca situation, where, you know, like, cause, like, Nazca, don't pan, remember, at least, like, he like, changed before. I'm not. You know what? This is double spoilers. Maybe some of these people haven't seen double.
Hold on. Whoop. Sorry about that. We had like a like, we kind of crashed for like half a second because my internet connection is stupid. I'll edit that and fix it later on.
Okay.
Um,
Still
point is, you were saying?
I thought you're right. I actually did think it was gonna be like one of those like switch sides thing for a second because he did shed a tear, and like it's not new to the Kamen Rider series where a bad guy or like a villain-esque character was just like had a realization and then just switched sides, you know. But at the same time, it's happened where, you know, you betrayal and like you think it's gonna be one thing, but then that's like another thing. So
yeah, but the funny thing about the whole tear thing is that like it happened, and there was no real reason for it to happen. Like
yeah, that's so true.
Like there is nothing that really went deeper than like him just kind of crying. It just kind of happened, and then he was like, "Fuck everything! I want to destroy everything! I'm going to fight Haruto!" Ah!
Maybe he was crying because he was like, "I must be Haruto."
It was like
I cannot be
one of the jokes that was like made like after the episode was aired was basically somebody saying, "Phoenix, why are you crying? Thinking about the story." So
yeah,
it was, I don't know, it was a really silly
it was just
part
random,
of the episode.
like a random tear. Like at first I thought, like in the previews, it was gonna be like, oh, he was like, he might have like the human side of him, like kind of like, remembered, you know, the past, and I thought that was he was crying, but it was just, it was just random.
That's what I thought was going to happen at the time too.
Yeah,
but then
like
they just
like,
punked
no.
our asses.
just a random tear. Maybe it was like a crocodile tear. No, because that doesn't seem like Phoenix. He's not very smart. I mean,
not really, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's one to do crocodile tears. He's very intense and like up in your face.
But yeah, at the end of this episode, he basically decided to no longer follow what the wise man was saying and just kind of destroy shit because he wanted to.
Yeah, fuck the police.
Fuck the police.
Fuck the police. I'm gonna do what I want, wise man. You're not my real mom.
But
that was pretty much episode 21, I think, or am I still?
Yeah, it was. We just finished.
God damn
talking
it!
about
Like,
episode
doing
21.
that.
Try and keep up.
I had watched these Friday, and I swear I thought we talked about everything, but then I missed something. There's a lot going on in these episodes.
Yeah, these episodes are pretty packed, which is why I decided to not do anything with like the news or anything, because that would make us go way over time.
Yeah, here, watch our 2-hour podcast, guys.
It's probably going to be 2 hours as it is anyway, but we don't want it to be like 3 hours.
Okay, well, we should try to finish this up so we're not actually... Let's try not make it 2 hours, because I don't know if I could listen to anything 2 hours, let alone the people who listen to us.
We'll be fine. Anyways, episode 22. Basically, after Phoenix had just, like, said fuck everything, Rinko had been knocked out and, picked back up by, Sora / Gremlin. And he was basically like, "Hey, I see you have this girl here. We could use her as, you know, ransom to do that thing you want to do." So Phoenix was like, "Cool, whatever. I don't know. You do all the smart things. I'll do the fighting, because that's what I do." So he used her as bait to get Haruto out to go fight him. Meanwhile, while Phoenix was basically just waiting for Haruto to show up, Sora, again, was just basically out trolling everyone, because that's what he does, I guess.
I really like Sora. He's such a cutie.
He is really, really mischievous. That's that's a big
Mischievous?
mischievous. Whatever.
The Mischievous is a Pokemon.
Whatever. I guess he's also a Pokemon. Just
Yeah.
but like he kind of first of all instigates a fight between Medusa and Phoenix, which happens a little bit later, but also gives Rinko's wallet to Shunpei, who takes it to Haruto and starts them both freaking out and trying to find her. And also, like, pumps up Phoenix's head to tell him that he should really keep on doing whatever he wants because he's definitely the strongest now. Most of the episode was actually spent on Sora kind of messing with everyone and instigating all these fights to kind of end up with everyone fighting Phoenix to take him down, basically. It seemed like from the beginning Sora was trying really hard to take Phoenix's spot as the number 2 Phantom of the I wouldn't say organization, but the whole deal things.
Possibly, but I mean, it seemed like he wouldn't have Rinko did all the work to make him go crazy. Like, I don't know how he would have manipulated that, because she kind of investigated that on her own, right?
Well, yeah, but
and
he's
then
more.
He ran into him.
He's more like making things worse, I guess. Like, he's making it so everyone knows where Phoenix is, and was instigating all these fights, and started he was the one who told Phoenix to do the whole kidnapping ransom thing in the first place.
Yeah, that's true. He does have some motive for sure. Maybe he didn't want the number 2 spot, but it's very unclear at this moment. But then again, you could also tell from a point that Phoenix was really rambunctious, and he was gonna, he was really weird about things. He wanted to do his own thing. You could tell.
Well,
from
yeah.
a certain point in that. But yeah, I think he might have kind of pushed him to that, hey, guy, go crazy and kidnap this girl and fuck the wise men.
Just but basically, just one other thing. This episode actually didn't have a whole lot to it. To be completely honest, basically
Even
it
though
came
we
down.
talked about it for 45 minutes.
Just, but it basically came down to Medusa and Phoenix having a fight, in which they just brawled for a little bit, but at the end, Medusa tried to turn Phoenix into stone, which only killed him for half a second, brought him back, and was like, did you really think that was going to happen? I'm way stronger than you are now.
Well, that's true. I don't think she was going to kill him, or she knew she couldn't kill him because he's supposedly, immortal or whatever. But I think it was, supposed to, make him stand stone forever and, just petrify him and just leave him there. But I guess, yeah, he's stronger than her.
And the episode kind of ends with, Haruto, trying to fight, Phoenix and getting his shit kicked in, super hard, because he, was both worried about Rinko, who was really kind of messed up at the moment.
Wait, I thought did he fight Phoenix yet? I thought that was the next episode.
Nope,
I'm confused.
He fought him in this episode, and got beat pretty hard. The ending of the beating happened in the next episode, the beginning. But pretty much he got beat pretty hard, and like the end of the episode was like a big explosion happening after Phoenix made these huge wings, which he didn't have before, come out and start. Well, they were about to slap like Haruto and make him explode, I guess.
Wait, are we talking about episode 22 now?
Yes, we're still talking about that.
Okay.
But it cuts away at the very end, before we see it actually hit him. I guess one thing that should be brought up, because it's kind of like the only really kind of important part of the episode, which isn't actually all, well, most of the episode is pretty important, but it's the only thing that isn't really that important, but it's pretty funny, I guess, is that Nito now lives on top of a building, like way on top of a skyscraper, because, well, not a skyscraper, but a fairly large building, because, he saved somebody that was in charge of a company, so, the person, who owns the company said, and I don't think that he actually said it, he maybe said it in, Nito's mind, but I don't think he actually said it, said that Nito could live on top of, his big fancy building, which he then decided to do. And that was pretty much it. Like, he, called up Haruto and Shunpei to come join him on top of the building, and maybe have some, I think that he had some ramen cooking, and then, like, he saw that they had some food and just decided to go, hey, that stuff could be pretty good in my ramen, and just threw a whole bunch of bologna and milk into the ramen and covered it with mayonnaise. He has the weirdest sense of taste ever.
Definitely does. Just a note, that is not ramen. That's like hot pot. I think it's like shabu shabu.
I couldn't remember what was in the pot, actually, to be honest.
It's like vegetables and like meat and stuff. I'm pretty sure it was like a hot pot, like shabu shabu or something.
Oh, you're probably right.
It doesn't matter though. This isn't Kamen Rider food. This is
But that's basically the episode. It was a pretty simple episode, and not a whole lot really happened that was, I guess, worth really talking about.
Yeah, this one was more of a pretty, like, I don't even know what to say.
It kind of was to get from point A to point B, I guess.
Pretty much. Yeah, this was definitely like a point A, point B, like setting up, because this wasn't a closing episode or anything. This was like setting up for the next episode, pretty much to end this arc. But like I said, I was trying to talk about earlier was I really like Sora, and then he was like talking to Medusa, and like he calls the Phantoms by their real names.
Yeah.
And he called Phoenix by his his like human form's name, and then he called his Medusa Misa or Mia or something, and like what's her human name, and she looked really pissed. It was really funny.
Yeah, it seems like the Phantoms really don't like who they were before they were Phantoms, I suppose. Yeah. So I think that they get a little bit offended by being called by their original names. So we're gonna have to see about how that plays out. If he maybe he knows Wiseman's real name. That'd be interesting.
That would be interesting. I think it's like a thing where it's like Sora is like obviously like a bad guy because he's a phantom, and he's like, it's supposed to be like seem as like, oh, it's kind of cute and stuff like that, but then like, yeah, like you said, it could be like totally like insulting the other phantoms. But to us it looks cute because he's like, oh, he's using their like little names before they were phantoms. How
Yeah.
cute. And I like his like mischievous
Right.
yeah, I think it's I like that. I like villains and stuff with the little like they're kind of playful, mischievous, and like a very likable villain. I like him. He seems very likable for now.
He's likable, but also kind of a huge shit because
He's such a
he's just kind of he's messing with everyone.
I think that is definitely part of his charm of being a little shit.
Yeah.
He's like, because he's just playful and funny and just, I don't know.
Well,
I think it's funny. I think I like him being, but yeah, it's
he's a very entertaining villain, if nothing else.
Yeah.
He definitely knows how to raise the stakes of things. So we'll have to see. But now moving on to the last episode that we're going to be talking about. Episode 23. Nito, after Haruto gets basically giant flame wing clapped by Phoenix, rushes in to save Haruto, who, after kind of catching his second wind, goes over to Rinko and flies her off to the nearest hospital because she's in pretty critical condition. Nito uses his slash strike thing, his sword and whatnot, and only got a 1, which is something we haven't seen before. And it basically just made a single chameleon come out, and it was super weak, and it got kicked away because Phoenix, there was just 8 seconds of silence because they were looking at the chameleon because it was so weak. It was just kind of like, what is that? Oh no. Oh no. Oh.
You tried.
Yeah, it was a definite you tried episode.
You tried.
Kind of thing. But Phoenix basically blows up Nito because he didn't want to deal with him anymore. And because he was still unsatisfied with the last fight and didn't get to kill Haruto and everything, he starts fucking up the city because, I don't know, he can. And he starts using that as collateral instead of Rinko to get Haruto to come fight him.
Well, like you said, he just wants to, like he said, all he wants to really do is, destroy things, you know?
Yeah.
So this is his form of, fun to him. So, yeah, he's gonna do whatever the fuck he wants, and if he wants to destroy a city, he's gonna destroy a city. So I think part of it is, he enjoys wreaking havoc and stuff like that. This is part of his whatever.
Yeah. But, while, Haruto is trying to take care of Rinko, Nito tries to run resistance, to stop Phoenix from doing all of the crazy destroying and whatnot that he's been doing. But seeing as, for the moment at least, Nito is ultimately still a huge jobber, he ends up just kind of fighting Mooks the whole time, and being told to go and tell Haruto to go do things and come fight. So, hopefully that gets fixed pretty soon. Not so much of a jobber anymore. Hopefully that happens. Maybe after his whole upgrade thing to Hyper Beast.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Me too. Oh yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Haruto kind of has a breakdown about how he, isn't cut out to be a wizard because, he couldn't even save, Rinko from, getting hurt or anything. But then because Kiyomi is awesome, she kind of snaps him out of it and sets him straight up about the whole thing. And it reminds him all the people that he saved and how much he means to them and how much how much good he's done and can do still, which cheers him right up. And after Haruto gets his basically wizard mojo back, he goes
Wizard mojo.
and tells Nito that he'll handle Phoenix. Nito wasn't terribly happy about it, but he understood because he's bro rivals and not just kind of asshole rivals with Haruto.
Yeah.
He actually had a pretty good moment when he said that he wouldn't survive on gratitude alone for letting Haruto take care of Phoenix. I really liked that moment. It was pretty cool. But Haruto then goes off to fight Phoenix. Uses his brand new all-dragon form and does the most over-the-top finisher that has ever happened in Kamen Rider as far as I know.
Yeah, that was I don't know.
There's
there are a
been
lot
some
of,
pretty good ones, but
yeah,
we'll talk about that when we talk about
we'll
that.
get there. Yeah.
But basically, here's some of the pretty interesting parts about this episode. Like we had talked about before, Haruto, he did have this big whole breakdown about how he didn't feel like he was worthy to be a wizard anymore, which it's a thing that happens with a lot of characters and a lot of things, but it doesn't happen so much in Kamen Rider, and it's kind of good to see this kind of thing. We have seen Kamen Riders not sure of themselves, but when Haruto isn't sure that he can do a thing, or when he gets really down on himself, he gets really down on himself.
Oh, definitely.
He kind of just sits by himself, puts his head in his hands, and is kind of laughing about how pathetic he's being at the moment. And that's kind of he comes off really big and tough and cool-headed all the time until something doesn't go right, and then he just kind of loses his shit about the whole thing. He doesn't seem to have any faith in himself if anything goes wrong. Which also goes with how strong he is as a wizard, because this has come up a few times before, in that he's a glass cannon kind of Kamen Rider, in that he can deal a lot of damage, and he's really fast and can really overpower a lot of his enemies and everything. But if he's hit or overpowered himself, then he's going to basically flail around and not know what to do and basically get his shit wrecked really hard, which we have seen before. When he tried to when he tried to fight Phoenix the first time, he tried to stop him with defense walls with his land form, and that didn't work at all. He just kept on backing up and having them smashed and beaten out of the way. And the same thing happened with Medusa in a few episodes, a good amount of episodes back. Basically, if he knows that he can't win, he starts to kind of panic. And that kind of thing really kind of goes with his character as well, I feel. Like, both how he acts when he loses and how he acts when he knows he's going to lose in a fight or when something bad happens. He just kind of can't handle that kind of thing.
Yeah. I like him because he's very, he feels very real, and it shows like his vulnerability and stuff like that, and that he cares a lot. So
Yeah,
I definitely like him as a character. I know, yeah, you're right. I noticed he does break down a lot more than other wizards, but it's not like a breakdown. It's just like he's like, I feel like it's just him feeling down on himself, because it's not like a mental, like, Shinji Ikari breakdown or anything like that. It's like, like, man, I feel like I fucked up, and like, I don't know what to do. Like, I let down people,
Yeah.
And, cause like, I think he's like, it's good, cause like, he acts really human, and like he can't have a full breakdown because he's a wizard, and he, like, people depend on him, and so, like, he can't, like, even though he's made mistakes, like, he can't just, like, stop. Like, he has to, he has to, like, keep some composure in him, or else, because, like, he still has, like, other people to protect, but he still feels really shitty because, like, he didn't get to protect one of his friends, and, I don't know, it feels really, like, interesting. And I also liked, I think, we're on 23, right? This is 23.
Yes.
That, Rinko had her little moment, too, where she didn't feel so, like, she felt she was a letdown.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, so I thought it was really nice because, like, you got to see, like, two of the main characters, like, they're this vulnerable side of both of those characters. And, I thought that was really interesting, and, like, I like those things, because, like, it was a good, medium to the other previous episode, which, had more, like, where she was, like, chasing down, like, the little beetle things or whatever, and that was more, like, funny, haha, but then it got, like, more, like, serious like this, so I don't know, I thought it was a nice change, and, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It was definitely good to see these really strong characters, because both Haruto and Rinko have proven themselves to be very strong characters in their own rights and everything.
Most definitely.
Just kind of see them see that they can't do everything right and have, like, a very human moment, which doesn't happen nearly as much as it kind of should, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's really interesting how that whole thing came about. It took, like, one real big failure on both of their parts, I suppose, to really show that they do have weaknesses and whatnot. But that those weaknesses shouldn't destroy them. That was kind of like the big... that was kind of the message of the episode, that they do have weaknesses and that they aren't perfect and that they can mess up a whole lot of time, but they shouldn't let that get in the way of the things that they should be doing. Yeah. And I felt like that really made Haruto and Rinko much stronger characters. Both of them. I feel like this also had a pretty good I feel like this was also a pretty good episode for Nito, who gets a really good episode in the next two ones that we talk about for the next 2 weeks and whatnot. I'm really looking forward to talking about those, because those are going to be long talks about how cool Nito is. But basically, he really showed responsibility, where he didn't show that much responsibility when he first showed up, but he, like, after he really caught the gravity of the situation, he showed a lot more initiative and responsibility, other than just, I gotta eat, I got to eat because I don't want to die. But in this, he
Yeah.
showed a lot of concern for both the city, Haruto, and Rinko, all because he's now basically part of the group. He has to protect those guys just like they protected him, and how much they want to save people is now kind of rubbing off on him. He did kind of follow it up by saying that eating Phoenix would totally be a great source of mana, but his heart was in the right place because he also still had those feelings that he wanted to protect everyone and want to help them out. But it really showed when him and Haruto kind of confronted each other on top of the big building that he was living on, about who was going to go fight the Phoenix, because he realized not even all that long after the confrontation started. It wasn't even really a confrontation. They just kind of were next to each other and talking, I guess.
Yeah, they're talking like normal people. Well, I wanted to say something. Oh, you go ahead. I'm thinking.
But he kind of right away was he understood that Haruto had to do this not just for his own pride, but as kind of revenge for the Phoenix hurting Rinko.
His friend.
Yeah. So that I felt like this was a really big character building episode for everyone. Well, at least those three.
Yeah. It's not really character building, but before, at the start of Wizard, I was not digging Shunpei at all, really. But in this episode, he seemed really mellow and you see he's nice. He was telling Haruto you know how it's not a big deal. It just made me like him kind of more, because he was I got the groceries or something. He's oh, thanks for coming to get groceries with me or whatever. And he's oh, no problem. I don't know. He was just being really nice.
Oh, and I feel like you're going to like him in the next two kind of Nito-centric episodes.
Yeah, but
we'll
then
see.
Yeah, we'll see. But then also he needed to go again, because obviously Nito fucked up their meal. He needed to get more groceries. Oh, you know what? It's okay. I'll go, and you go ahead, and I'll go do it by myself. And he's are you sure? He's yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool of Shunpei to be like that. You know, he's pretty normal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. He's just being nice and stuff like that. Because at first I thought he was just this annoying shit, and I was oh my god, please do something useful or something. But no, he's growing on me so far. But we'll see.
He's evolved a bit from being such a huge fuck up, and that being him being a huge fuck up was basically his whole character until the episode with his friend who became a mochi maker and everything.
Yeah.
That episode was a really big character builder for him, in which I feel he got a whole new sense of he can't do everything a wizard could do, and he can't save a lot of people Haruto can, but he can do things that he can do, and he's going to do them as much as he possibly can. So you'll definitely see a whole lot of that in the next two episodes, but we're going to handle those when we do. But you're definitely going to like Shunpei a whole lot more after you see the next two.
Have you seen them already? I haven't seen them.
I streamed the last one.
24?
Yeah, I streamed 24 Saturday.
I could go get up that.
Before we started this, actually, while I was waiting for you, I was like kind of a quarter way through episode 25.
Is 25 out now too?
Yes, it's
Should we cover both of those
it's
next stream?
we can, I suppose.
I mean, to catch up or something, because it seems like we're falling a little behind. But then again, it is Sunday, so
yeah,
like,
but like
yeah.
the way that we can cover those on Thursday. But let's leave the
sure.
technical talk for another time.
Yeah, another time.
Point is, you're gonna like him a whole lot after those episodes, even more than you do now.
Another thing was, I noticed, what was it? They don't really talk about, or maybe they just haven't got to it yet, because we don't see a lot of Shunpei, and maybe it is addressed in the next episode, but, he like wanting to be a wizard? Is that still like a thing? We haven't heard about that in a while.
He did want to be a wizard, and that was really early on, but
I thought that was his like little shtick.
But he's basically just Haruto's apprentice and everything, but I'm pretty sure he realizes that he can't really be a wizard, and that, like, he gave his dream of being a wizard over to Haruto, he's basically letting Haruto live his dream of being a wizard.
Do they address that? I don't remember that.
Yeah, they addressed that in, they actually addressed that in the episode where, he, was about to fall into despair and everything.
No, because I thought he still wanted to be an apprentice after that.
Oh, he definitely does, but I think he more wants to, be an apprentice in Haruto's ways of keeping people from falling into despairs on, like, a more typical and not magical level, I suppose. And also wants to, like, basically work under Haruto because Haruto's a cool guy and he might as well.
Haruto's a cool guy. I don't know, yeah, okay, well, because I remember that being his, like, whole, like, thing was, oh, yeah, Shunpei wants to be a wizard and blah, blah, blah.
Well, it is still kind of a thing. He probably still wants to be a wizard, but he kind of understands that it's a thing that he can't really do. But he'll try and still help people as much as he can, because that's what he can do.
You know, if he still wants to be a wizard, this could probably be like a setup point for something in the future. Like, if the White Wizard is bad, then he can do, like, you know what I'm talking about, like, set up something with Shunpei, like, hey, you want to be a wizard? And you know what I'm talking about? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. Maybe sometime in the future, maybe turning,
or it doesn't even have to be the White Wizard. It could be like someone else saying, like, here's a belt, or like, or you know what I'm talking about, like something.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you can be a wizard too, buddy.
I can see that happening, maybe. If, like, he sees it and he just kind of goes for it because it's something that he always wanted to do. But,
yeah, and just, like, be, like, helpful. Be like, hey, if I could be a wizard too, and I could help a Haruto too. And this looks not shady. Wink, wink.
But it definitely, if that kind of thing did happen, it would definitely go bad. There's no way that it would go
that's
good.
That's why I'm saying it's like a setup for something, where it might be an arc, and it just, like, escalates pretty bad, and then they have to resolve it, and blah, 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 blah. But I mean, that could set up for something in the future, but maybe not. Maybe they'll just never come back to it. Whatever.
Oh, we'll have to see. It's definitely something that I would like to see come up again at some point.
Yeah, at some point. I would like to see that a little dressed. Or if he never becomes a wizard, I don't know. But I don't know. I kind of want to see that addressed. Like, did he really give that up, or is he still thinking about it, or just not gonna? I don't know.
Oh. There's pretty much just one one other thing that I do want to talk about, and it's the fight between Wizard and Phoenix, which was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I thought that was pretty freaking cool.
So, like, basically it opens up with Haruto coming up on his bike, confronting Phoenix, and going ahead and switching right into Flame Dragon, not even going for Flame right off the bat, just going straight into Flame Dragon. And basically they start brawling, and right off the bat he pulls out the Dragon Timer, starts calling out all of his other buddy hymns, I guess.
Sorry, that was my alarm. Go ahead, sorry.
And then pretty much he all of him still get pretty messed up by Phoenix, who is still way too strong to do anything with normally, so he pulls out all dragon form, where he basically gets all the parts from the special modes that the dragon forms have, all in one big form. There was like a proto version of that in the Wizard and Forze movie that happened a while back, and I think it gets released this month.
Oh, okay.
But there's a proto form that shows up in that one, where all the dragon parts are red instead of silver. And I don't know if there's something really different about that form or not, but I guess we'll see in time. But he uses that form and starts basically brawling Phoenix up in the air and everything. Knocks off his big flame wings and everything, and tells him that he's not going to destroy him, and that his immortality was going to punish him, basically.
Yeah.
And does a big all-dragon form rider kick to Phoenix, kicking him millions and millions of light years into the sun, where he will die and come back for eternity.
That was pretty hardcore.
It was pretty hardcore, and the thing is that he wasn't really excited about the whole thing. He wasn't growling mad or anything. He actually sounded unsettlingly calm in what he was saying. It almost sounded like he felt sorry that he had to do this, but there's no other way. That he had to kick him into the sun to do something. Light years
into the sun.
Yeah.
Well, it's Haruto. I always feel like he has remorse in some way for, people, or even if they're phantoms. I don't know. He's just really calm and collective and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
But man, I gotta say that's pretty hardcore. It's just and this is a kid show, so I thought it was really funny because it was you're gonna pretty much suffer for the rest of your days.
But there's
if you think about it, that's pretty damn.
Yeah, but there's two ways that this could go, and I'm hoping that the second way goes way more than the first one. But it could either be he Phantom really does just stay there forever and keeps on dying and dying and dying, or he keeps on dying and dying and dying until he gets so strong that he just kind of overpowers the sun and comes all the way back to Earth and
I
is
highly doubt that.
nigh invincible. I know that won't happen, probably not at least.
Well, what's
but
he gonna do? Fight the sun? Oh,
I don't know, but like
no.
after a while, he like you would think that he would just kind of become resistant to dying to the sun. It may take a
I
long
don't know.
time.
The sun is
but...
really hot. The sun is really hot. So.
Well, that's very true, but I don't know. I just kind of want Phoenix to come back at least one more time, and there has to be like some big ultra final finish that finally ends Phoenix for good.
I thought like I don't know. I just think it's so funny that he's just like stuck in the sun.
Yeah, he's just kind of stuck in the sun, comes back, and it's like, again.
He's gonna, like, if you think about it, he's just
again.
like, if you look, like, now it's gonna be hilarious, because, like, every time you, like, the Kamen Rider in Kamen Rider Wizard, now every time you look at the sun, you're like, hey, there's Phoenix!
He's just kind of chilling up there, dying repeatedly.
Like, I don't know, it just seems really comical, like, it seems like, okay, it's, like, really an intense, like, it's like pretty hardcore for like a kid show death, like where you're just like literally like dying and coming back like automatically, like suffering for like the rest of your days. But then at the same time, it's kind of hilarious because it's just like, oh, Phoenix is gone, and you're like, not really, because he's right there.
But it's like, it makes you feel like Haruto was a lot more pissed than like he was sounding, because if he wasn't, there's no way that he would just kind of send somebody into the fucking sun. He would try and find some other way around, like, doing it, but he, like, you would have to be really freaking pissed to make somebody who, you're fighting basically suffer for eternity. This,
yeah.
Which, he was pretty mad.
Yeah, he was pretty mad, and I don't think he's gonna come back because, like, who would like come and rescue him? Like, I don't think the Wise Man's like, oh hey, let's go get Phoenix on the sun later. He's probably gonna like, well, fuck that.
That's a long way to go. It's not in walking distance.
Yeah, and you know what? He's probably gonna fuck up again. So yeah, it's not. You know,
he'll be fine.
Hot. I'd have to get my summer clothes, etc., etc.
We'll just send him a care package, some sunscreen.
Let's send him a gift basket, and everyone's to show where we're thinking about him.
Yeah, this is a great plan.
It's a good plan. It's SPF, whatever, and some towels and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah. He'll get a nice tan.
Let him know what's going on with the world. We'll buy him like the new Lady Gaga CD or something.
But there's only like one last thing about this episode. Well, actually two. The first one is the White Wizard shows up in this episode actually while they're fighting and everything, and after Haruto does the All Dragon form. And something that was interesting to me is that he said that, quote, this one's all done, end quote.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a little bit suspicious to me. Like, there's something about how he said that. And maybe that was a weird translation because, I don't know, it's possible it was a weird translation. But if we're gonna be going by that, then he has been basically cultivating all these wizards to basically use their powers over their dormant or phantoms and everything. So that's just kind of one point that was interesting to me, and I don't know if it's something that has a whole lot of importance, but if it didn't, then I don't think they would show it. So we'll have to see what he means by this one's all done.
Yeah, that kind of makes me like solidify our not like fully, it's still like a speculation and stuff like that, but it feels like it helps in our what's it called, our
We
idea
think he's
that-
evilness.
yeah, pretty much. Like either that or this is really misleading and it's just shady.
Yeah.
But then again, we overthink little kid shows, so I don't know. Maybe he actually is. I don't know.
We'll have to see. But he's been pretty shady at the moment.
Oh yeah, he's definitely shady. I definitely feel like he's something is up with him, but guess
But-
we'll have to see.
But like at the one last thing at the end of the episode, Haruto and Rinko, who is out of the hospital now but still kind of all bandaged up, have a moment about how Rinko thought that the Phantoms maybe had a little bit of themselves still left, but she realized how wrong she was, and that from now on she wouldn't be giving them the benefit of the doubt. But basically they had a little moment where they were just kind of having a calm moment together in the same place that her and Phoenix did. And I don't know. It wasn't a big thing, but I thought that it was pretty cute.
Yeah, no, I like the moments they have, and it's Haruto's such a nice guy.
Yeah. But
Yeah, but I don't know. I like it. I like Rinko, So, and I like how it showed her character and stuff like that, and she's a good person, and she really does want to help, and it's nice because she is kind of helpful, and hopefully, but I don't know that she'll still be helpful or to some extent, because it's hard when you're like a human and you're like having to fight these like demon monster things that kill other people.
yeah.
But she said that one quote, right? What was it? Do you remember what that quote was? Like, how... I can't remember it, but how she's like, it had to do with like, oh, she was like, I don't remember. I'm really
about her wanting to
help him or something?
well,
or,
yeah,
like,
wanting
even
to
though...
save people with or without magic.
Yes, that was it. So, like, I don't know. That was really cool, and I like that. So
Yeah. But yeah, basically those were the 3 episodes that we missed talking about.
And we got those done in like an hour and 30 minutes. Look, it's not 2 hours long.
Well, yeah, we did pretty good. Made pretty good time. But
I feel like we... What? Go ahead, sorry.
I'm glad that we finally got those out of the way, so now we can be all caught up.
Yes, definitely. So we'll try to bring him out on like Thursday, right?
Yeah.
We'll try to do Thursday, or
if we can't do it on Thursdays, then we're definitely
Friday.
gonna do it on Fridays.
Friday, yeah.
Okay. But that's pretty much it, guys.
Yep. Like I said, we should talk about the Forza movie that's coming out too. Like, we'll just dedicate an episode.
Well, we definitely will, but I think that we're going to do that on a different day than Thursday.
Yeah. No. We want to like.
We'll make it a
like
bonus episode.
Yeah, exactly. Because we don't want to be like, well, here's an episode, and by the way, the movie, because I feel like the movie we need to talk about that movie just itself and have its own little thing, because for one, it's probably going to be a long episode if we chunk those all in, but I think we need to like separate them, and so we can have focus on one at a time.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
But I think
anyways,
that's pretty great.
Yep, we recapped 3 episodes and talked about it, so...
mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished, yeah. So hopefully, I would like to actually see what people think, because this is pretty much us talking about the episode. I wonder if they have any other, like, things to point out. Like, how I think you were talking about someone about like they saying why couldn't you just use the copy rings? That's a good point, you know. Some discussion things. I don't know.
I would actually really like for people to send us their theories and whatnot.
Theories,
we
yeah.
would.
Definitely.
I would say that we could read them on air and give our opinions on the whole thing, because I'd really like to get that kind of input from our fans and whatnot.
Well, not just that. I just like hearing like different like what they think about it, because like what I say and what I think is obviously not gonna always be right when having like theories and whatever.
Oh, everything
You know?
I say is right.
Oh, okay, rad. Whatever. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You're the host. Just
Yeah.
But
that's just how things work.
Mischievous and mischievous being the same thing.
Yeah, it's totally the same thing.
That's totally Pokemon is whatever.
Yeah, I'm right all the time.
Yeah, I think Rad is his new thing is he's gonna misplace certain words for Pokemon.
Yeah, I'll
How
see.
are you feeling today? Oh, I'm feeling really tentacool today.
I'll
I'm feeling.
I'll be like, I think that theory's a little. Oh
That's
no, that won't work. I was going to
unacceptable.
say that theory's a little far fetched, but shit.
That shit is unacceptable.
So,
Absolutely unacceptable.
oh.
I think we're just now delving into Pokepuns at this point. Okay, we should wrap this up before
You
we
just
get
did
into
another one by saying Pokepuns, sort of, almost.
No, because that's
It's a play on words. Whatever.
Whatever. Okay, anyways, that is Kamen Rider Wizard.
That's Conrad Wizard and also
3
Pokepuns.
episodes in Pokemon puns. Tune in next time.
Turn in next time if you have any questions, suggestions, and also guest theories. Send us the stuff to either the comments section under the video that you're watching, or send us an ask or a fan mail on our Tumblr, and we will talk about them on air or talk about them on the actual Tumblr itself.
And
Whatever.
Don't forget to plug
My stream?
stream.
Yeah.
Your stream.
I do a stream every week. Right now I've on Fridays I do Hajime no Ippo, which is a anime about boxing, and it's really good, and all the characters are real cute. It's great. You should watch it. It's probably one of the best anime that I've seen kind of ever. But there's also on Fridays we do well, as it is right now, it's basically superhero time in that like I show the latest episode of Kyoryuger and also the latest episode of Wizard, and then I also show some episodes of Kamen Rider Kuga after I showed those two. So
I'm so far behind on that.
you should get caught up. It's really good.
I really should.
But that's basically what I do. I also have a Tumblr, of course. You can find the link in the Kamen Rider Spirit podcast Tumblr. It's radicalapologist@tumblr.com, and it's basically just art that I do, and also me talking about random stuff that I want to talk about. And I don't know. I just like talking to people, so come talk to me, I guess. What about you, Tay?
I just have a Tumblr with blah 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 fandoms and whatnot. I need more Kamen Rider blogs still, and I kind of want more gore blogs.
Gore blogs?
Gore blogs. Like, not like just disgusting, but like artsy. Like,
I know what you mean. I like a
lot of horror and girl, but I don't have a lot of that on my dash. I mean, I'll tag it if you follow me. I always tag it so people can just block the tags and stuff like that. But I just like that kind of stuff. But yeah, that and more Kamen Rider would be good for my blog. But yep, just I don't want to die at tumblr.com, blah 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 blah. And that's pretty much it, I think, for myself.
Yeah. So,
And tune in next time for when Rad says more Pokemon puns and doesn't realize it and thinks they're actual words.
shut up. Yeah, see you next time. What a
Look
butt.
at these subtitles. Alright, see you later.
See ya.